Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are we? Just let us know when we're live.
I think we're live.
Oh, good. Then this is the hi followers of the Force podcast. This is the news show. Not a ton of news. I guess I'm only saying that because I think the last time we did the news was like we got the Bad Batch trailer, and was that the other big thing that happened? Like within a couple of days of each other, we were like, but now it's not quite as much. But I am here with Meg, and I'm here with Emily, and we're going to, and I'm on a new laptop, so I hope everything looks and sounds good, at least on mine. You guys look great. You guys have really good cameras. This is just the one. This is the one that's just part of the. It's a part of the laptop, and it just kind of looks like, I don't know. It looks like I have like a filter on or something. Like I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it looks like to you guys. To me, it looks like I have like some sort of weird filter on. Like I need soft lighting or something. I don't know.
It does look different. It looks different than your normal.
Yeah, well, that was what it is the old laptop that I had was an old work laptop that they're eventually going to want back. So I'm like, let me just go ahead and my birthday was Monday, so I'm just going to go buy a new laptop. So I did, and it works great. Except I'm just not real thrilled with the camera. I'm going to play with it and see if I could make it work.
Yeah. I need to buy a webcam for my desktop because I'm at my desk with my desktop, but it doesn't have a webcam, so I have to use my Surface, which is like real small and like off to the corner. So eventually, I'm going to buy a webcam.
Well, I have a webcam for the desktop. It's just that I work from home, and so I'm there all day, and for some reason, the StreamYard doesn't work as well on the desktop for some reason. I just think it's because it's older.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't have 5G on my desktop, so that might be a problem.
Yeah. So, but I'm thinking I could, if I needed to, depending on how much it starts to bother me, I might put the desktop camera on here, which defeats the purpose of having gotten really the new laptop. And then just see if I get a better picture. But we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. But tonight we're going to do the news, and you guys had something you wanted to talk about on Twitter that wasn't necessarily a dumpster fire. So I'm going to let you guys talk about that first. It's something to do with Meredith Salinger, a tweet that she put out.
Yes, I just happened to see this tweet last week because I didn't follow her on Twitter, but she tweeted just randomly about Ahsoka. It says, "I see Ahsoka trending and felt the need to remind you I'm her BFF." And then it says hashtag Barisafi, and has like these pictures of her and Barris, and like that's really cool. I'm like, oh, I'm glad that she's reliving that. And then someone replied and said, Barris did go out with a bang, so to speak, but did she survive Directive 66? And Meredith replied and said, "We shall see, ... Which I'm like, she would not say that unless there was something to it, right?
Yeah.
So, normally, I know we don't talk about like rumors or stuff on this show, but I had to put it out.
We talk about rumors, but we talk about ones that aren't like super fanciful, like the cover on because of some of these crazy websites.
I'm like, why else would she say that, right? So I'm thinking she has to come back during maybe Bad Batch, possibly.
Man,
maybe.
We don't know what happens to Barris.
I will say this to even further get your hopes up so they can be dashed when the Bad Batch comes out. But I guess it was a little over a year and a half ago. Katie Sackhoff has got some show on Netflix. I think it's called After Earth or After Life or something. It's some sci-fi show. And she was promoting it, and someone asked her, and this is got to have to have been longer than a year and a half, because it was before the Clone Wars reboot came on. Or was it after? I can't remember. Anyway, someone asked her if she had spoken with Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau about playing Bo-Katan in live action. And she never said no. But she didn't say yes, but she never said like, oh yeah, I think that's part of my past. I won't do that anymore. She's just like, yeah, it's like, you know, it's like Lucasfilm's really strict about non-disclosure agreements, and just kind of left it at that. Which really all it did was just sort of speculate. And I think the thought was that she did show up in the last season of Clone Wars. I think everybody thought she was just going to be the last season of Clone Wars. So there's a very good chance that she, and since she just plays her, she plays her in the animation, right? So
right.
Yeah, there's
so if it was live action, it would be a different, like, because Barriss has been in live action.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know if they would have that same actress do it if it was live action. So I'm like, this was a totally unsolicited tweet, and she's the voice actress, and it's been several years since she played Barriss. So like, why would she bring it back unless she was doing more voice work, right?
I also feel like sometimes, like, when they're asked directly if they're doing something and they're definitely not, they might just say no, or there are no plans to do that. Like, when it's a yes, they have to be kind of sneaky about it. And that kind of seems like, I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing her again, hearing her again, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. I've talked about it a lot on the pod, that like seeing Barriss is one of my dreams. I wish that we had seen her in Rebels.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, maybe this answers the question. I don't remember. I just assume all the Jedi die in Order 66 until I see them later. But was there a story where she was around to Order 66?
Not that I know of.
That you know of? Okay.
No, but like at the end of the Clone Wars, like, we don't know what happened to her after all that.
Yeah,
So,
after she was taken into custody.
yeah.
So.
This is true. So she wasn't out with the clones like
Right.
when Order 66 went through, and wow, that's a very good boss. A Star Wars jailbreak.
Oh man.
Oh, no, I was going to say she could get out with Zero the Hutt, but I think Zero's already dead, right? Didn't Zero die?
Oh, he's 100% dead.
We don't need to see Zero again ever.
No.
No.
He was the only one I remembered that was in the prison, and then I remembered that he died. So
super dead.
Yeah, I remember that he died now. I'm thinking now I really do need to rewatch Clone Wars, and I keep thinking about it because I always, like, tonight was a perfect example. Like, I made dinner and I didn't really have time to like watch anything, and I did think about it. Like, I could just throw on like an episode of Clone Wars and watch that. Get started rewatching that, but I didn't. I watched a bunch of dumb things on YouTube. So.
Oh, my husband. This is not Star Wars related. We're watching Full Metal Alchemist because he's trying to get me into anime. So we're watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which he has seen before and I haven't, and so we had like half an hour before the pod started. And I'm like, okay, let's watch the next episode. And it was such a good episode. It was so hard for me because it ended and I had like 5 minutes to get on. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
I'm like, man, we have to end it right here. Yeah, very good.
All right. Well, I mean, we'll keep our fingers crossed. I don't know how many days it is until May 4th, but I mean, today's the 14th. So
20 days?
Yeah, it could be 20 days, something like that. Oh, did we lose Meg?
I think for the time being. Hi, Friends with Caesars. Good to see you.
Oh, I got comments.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think Dave Filoni will.
I should turn the comments on. Yeah, I should turn the comments on because it is a big thing. Are you ready to go live? Yeah, Run with Caesars. Yes. Trust and Chick-fil-A Spence bring her back. We're talking about it. Could very well could. Look, I'm not opposed to it. I will say this: I can't think of anybody I am opposed to seeing them bring back. I mean, I can't be unless they've already died. I don't think that they're. I do have that problem. I don't like resurrection. I mean, long time to get on board with the Maul resurrection. It's been a long time to get on board with it, but I finally did. It's really for him to last as long as he did, because I thought that they were just going to bring him back for Clone Wars, but he not only make it out of Clone Wars, he made it to Rebels, he made it to Solo. So
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. This makes me nervous because we lost Meg. It's just you and me. You might end up having to do the whole show by yourself, Emily. So you know.
Oh man, and I am not up to date on things. So.
Well, I was going to go into the story, which is not really anything spectacular other than the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga game has been indefinitely delayed.
Yes, I saw that. And it's such a tragedy because I'm not a gamer at all and I've never played the Lego Star Wars, but that I've been looking forward to getting into it. I'm like, if I start any game, like that seems like a good one to start. And yeah, just saw this news today. Do we know why it's delayed?
Yeah, I played. God. Oh, yeah, it's in the article. Hold on a second, and I will read the article. It says that it was originally scheduled for a 2021 launch. According to the studio, the development team needs more time in order for the game to live up to expectations. Apparently, they're trying to make this like the biggest, baddest Lego Star Wars game ever, and like they're talking about having 500 playable characters in it.
Wow, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, so like, yeah. So the Skywalker Saga is unlike any Lego game that came before. It is truly massive, featuring nearly 500 characters. So okay, so 500 characters, not 500 playable characters. That is a little different. But let's see.
Okay, runs with Caesars.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Is it like I get motion sick on games anytime I try. Like if I have to use both Joy-Cons to move, like one to go this way and one to go this way, I like get motion sickness. So you recommend games where I don't have to do that. I don't know about Jedi Fallen Order. Would I be okay?
I would love to play games. I don't have patience for them. I got an Xbox for Christmas. I got like 3 really cool games and I downloaded a bunch. And for about a week, I was all set to like be on board with this and start playing. And I got to like one spot in all of them, and I can't get past it. So I just was like, I just use it mostly to like I watch HBO Max on it. Basically, is what I end up doing.
Yeah, I have my own Xbox controller. It's beautiful, but I really only use it for like Netflix and Crunchyroll and Hulu.
Right. Yeah, and it's funny. I don't even use it so much for streaming, although I can. I do use it now for my Blu-ray player because I only have so many connections in the back of my TV, so I had to disconnect the Blu-ray player and plug in the Xbox. But
yeah. I am good on the Switch games though because they seem to be okay. It's like I can play Mario Kart. I love Pokemon. I don't play it very often, but when I do, I really love it. So like those types of games, good for me.
Right. Yeah,
Lego Star Wars.
Lego Star Wars. I played the original Lego Star Wars like back in was it like 2009, 2010? We had a Wii. Remember when everybody in the world had a Wii?
Yes.
So we had a Wii, and I one of the games I got was Lego Star Wars. And I was really good at it, but it was only the 6 movies. I completed the whole thing. It was the first video game I ever done. So I was actually looking forward to this game because I just got an Xbox, and I was just like, oh, like I was good at the last one, and so I did.
Yeah.
That is the one game I am good at on the Xbox now because I downloaded the old 2000. Again, I don't remember what year it came out. The old 2009, 2010 Lego Star Wars, and I'm pretty good on that one. But I think it's only because I was good at it 10 years ago. So.
Yeah, I've never actually played. I've watched my sister play, and I enjoy all of the noises and like putting the it's really sad. Hi, Carly. Yeah. Talking about you. It's really satisfying to see all the Legos come together and build stuff. So I'm excited, but I have to wait longer, I guess.
Yeah, and then indefinitely because I think it was originally. It was supposed to come out at the end of last year, then they pushed it to the spring, and now it is indefinitely. So if I still have the Xbox hooked up when it comes out, it would be fun to play. But I'll still have it because I'll still need it to watch if I want to watch any of my Blu-rays. I have to watch it on the Xbox. So.
Yeah.
Or if I have a long period where I have absolutely nothing to do during the day, I guess I could get back to watch and just play video games all day. But I've never really done that anyway. I have this bizarre competitive thing where if I can't win at the game, I just don't want to play it, and so I just get frustrated. So I'm not the world's best gamer. I'm not a very good gamer. So. But if you were looking forward to Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, it's going to be a lot longer of a wait.
Yeah. Oh, Carly, to catch you up. Yeah, it's delayed indefinitely. To make it better, is what they said.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, but I would rather them take as long as they need to make it the best that it can be, or the best that they want it to be, I guess. I mean,
yeah,
I've played games that have obviously been rushed to finish, and they're just not as good, So
yeah, I've not.
Well, there's really no rush to. I mean, there's really no rush to get this out. I mean, it's not like it has to coincide with the release of any films or anything.
Yeah.
So, if they had it out in the fall of 2019, that would have been one thing that it could have, coincided with the end of Rise of Skywalker, but they didn't. So, I guess take as long as you want, but it was funny when I got the Xbox. It was the one game. I was like, oh, maybe I'll pre-order that because it's supposed to come out in the spring. And I'm glad I didn't. Not getting it anytime soon.
Yeah.
So next story is something from StarWars.com. It is the Star Wars, the Odyssey of Star Wars, an epic poem, which is a new book that's coming out. It's by Jack Mitchell. And the article says it owes its genesis to the unique combination of Mitchell's scholarly background and his children's taste in bedtime stories. He said, I was reading Homer and Virgil in the daytime and Star Wars books to my kids at night, and I realized this was our modern mythology, which I was already passing on. Like the tales of Odysseus and Beowulf that have come before it, the adventures of Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Darth Vader are larger-than-life mythologies filled with legendary battles, archetypal heroes, storied warriors, sleek ships, and dangerous monsters lurking along the way. Alongside illustrations inspired by terracotta art synonymous with Greek antiquity, Mitchell uses the ancient literary form of epic poetry to put a new spin on the Star Wars saga. And StarWars.com is thrilled to show the cover art. And the cover art is just sort of
it's gorgeous. I want it.
Yeah, same.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, okay, I'm in. I also love almost I always talk about Star Wars as our modern mythology, and I love everything about this. I want it so much.
Yeah.
And I've read Beowulf. I haven't read the Odyssey, but it's on my shelf. And just having Star Wars echo that, oh, I love it so much.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit, although I know they were done as more of a tongue-in-cheek sort of a thing, but it reminds me of the Star Wars Shakespeare books that started coming out a while ago, about 5 years ago. I have the first one. I have A New Hope, the Shakespeare version of it. So I like when sort of Star Wars is kind of pulled into this. But the old sort of Greek mythology really kind of fits really well with Star Wars. Probably more than Shakespeare anyway, because years and years ago, God, it's probably not has been 10 years. When I lived in Chicago, I saw the touring. I don't know if you guys saw it. There was it was Star Wars Myth. It was a touring show that Lucasfilm put out to all the different museums, and it basically just had props and costumes and things from the show. But it also had sort of this running parallel of ancient mythology and the sort of the parallels with sort of modern with Star Wars. So, but yeah, I'm sorry. You guys go ahead and talk about it.
Oh, I said what I wanted to say. I'm just really excited for it. I didn't know about it until 5 minutes before the show, but I'm on board.
So you have not done extensive research, is what you're trying.
Nope. Just saw the cover. You read the blurb. I'm like, that's all I
Done. Done.
When does it come out?
That's what I was trying to get to at the end. Let's see.
I'm
Doesn't
trying to
really.
find
It doesn't say.
It might not
Oh,
have
here
it.
it is. Oh, the
September
Epic Poem
28th.
arrives September 28th, 2021.
Huh.
You can pre-order now, I'm sure, on all of your fun places wherever you get books.
At your local indie bookstore.
There you
Your
go.
local indie bookstore. There you go. Not Amazon.
Yeah. I just love like any Star Wars we can get in like a new medium or a new format. Like they keep trying like new things. Like they had like a full like Skywalker saga like children's book come out a little while ago, and that was interesting. And now they have like what's the new book that just came out? A Family at War, the one where it's like a nonfiction like fictional retelling of everything.
I just got that. I have it on my iPad.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's like that kind of stuff where it's like now that we've told that whole part of the story, it's like we can go back now and like test and like retell it and relive it in like different things. Like I've read plenty of epic poetry in my
nobody can see it, but sorry.
Yeah, I mean I'm being like taken back to like my English studies here, but like it'll be interesting to like read this and see what it's like and like what kind of like.
Oh, which one is that? Oh, I think it's Yura. There's a UPS guy here.
Oh my god.
Who's to say?
She's so excited.
There's like 3 or 4 dogs that are in the building that when she sees them, she absolutely freaks out. So I'm guessing it's one of them.
Oh my god.
So
well, that's fine. She just wanted to make a cameo.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's also excited about Star Wars books.
Oh yeah, she's the big reader in our house. Hold on, I'm trying to show off the cover because here it is. Okay, there. I do have it in my iPad.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's just kind of, I was kind of flipping through it. I haven't really dug into it probably as hard as I want to, but yeah, because it can. It's like you were saying, because the whole thing's over, it can sort of meshes a lot together. A little bit, especially with the sequel trilogy. That was really what I was concentrating on with the sequel trilogy, because I just wanted to see how it presented that.
Yeah.
And it's got some interesting ideas in it that aren't explicitly said in any of the movies, but sort of the idea that Rey is the legacy of the Skywalker family, even though she's not a blood Skywalker. Which is sort of interesting. Which by the way, I'm really mangling that. It's much more eloquently put in the book than me just spouting it out here. But it was an interesting thought that they had in the book. But yeah, and speaking of you from a child, I bought my niece and nephew. You remember the little golden books when you were a kid?
Yes.
They've done all 9 movies, and so I've gotten those for my niece and nephew over the years.
Oh,
so
that's so sweet.
they're really cool. They're really kind of cool. And I had to wait for Rise of Skywalker, but now they have all of them. And when I was over there this weekend, they had the Phantom Menace just laying out. I don't think anybody read it, but it was just laying out. So. At least it's in rotation somewhere. I don't think that I have yet to hear of them wanting to hear Empire Strikes Back as they're being put to bed, but who knows? Maybe. Although I had my chance this weekend, I was taking care of them. I could have said, okay, who wants the story? No, we're only reading what I want to read. So nothing like making your niece and nephew cry as you try to put them to bed. But on to our next thing, which is vintage murder bears. Which basically it's the sort of the vintage collection is now finally on Disney Plus, where you can get. By the way, if you're a fan of Ewoks, the vintage collection is the place to go because it's got both of the Ewok movies, Caravan of Courage and The Battle for Endor, one of which stars Wilford Brimley. and then it's got the Ewoks cartoon from the 80s, which is the Ewok cartoon from the 80s. It's got kind of a weird. It's got kind of a weird kind of weird. I'm not going to sing it, but it's got like a really weird like theme song that I don't think John Williams wrote. But also in the vintage collection is the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars, which they're calling Clone Wars 2D Micro Series.
Yeah,
which I've watched.
I've
watched the. No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hadn't seen anything on this, so I started watching the 2D micro series, and we got like almost halfway. It was really late at night, so we weren't able to finish it yet, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so stylistic, and I really liked it.
Yeah, originally it came out. It was supposed to be the Clone Wars and everything that was supposed to happen between episode 2 and 3, which some of it they kept and some of it they didn't. There's some stuff in it. I don't know which parts you watched, but I watched the scene where I watched almost all of the first one because I wanted to see the Anakin Asajj fight, which is really cool. And I'm glad she didn't die. Although I think she died. I think she died in that. I don't think apparently she didn't die in Clone Wars. I watched that, and I watched the ceremony where Anakin becomes a Jedi Knight, and I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really cool and really well done. Although it does have a weird introduction of C-3PO and his gold plating that's just kind of bizarre.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah, it is very stylistically done. I like the style of it.
It is. I would love to see it behind the scenes because it is 2D, but it almost works as though it was 3D, and I wonder if they use like computer animation in that. I want to know how it's done because it's different than anything I've seen.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guy that did it is the guy that also did Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
And he's done some other stuff since. I want to say like a big movie that came out, and I'm completely blanking on what it was. There was a big animated movie that came out that he also did. But a lot of the designs they carried over into the Clone Wars, 3D show. Like a lot of those designs are the same.
Yeah, like Ventress's outfit's kind of the same. Now, was it released before Episode 3 came out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was. Yeah, it was, and it was on Cartoon Network, and it was in like 2 and 3 minute little snippets, and which I think worked much better as just sort of 2 hour long things because. If I remember correctly, you'd only get like 3 minutes, and you have to wait like a week to get the next one. So like, the whole Dirge fight was if you weren't into the Dirge. Everybody who doesn't know who Dirge is, he's like this big sort of monster in the beginning of I think the first one. Like you can't kill him. If you chop him in half, it's like he grows back.
Yeah.
Anyway, Obi-Wan and the clones, they take on this guy, and it seems. It went on for like 3 weeks because I think it's like 3 different segments of the whole hour thing. So if you weren't into that, it was like 3 weeks. You're like looking at your watch. But at least with here, you can just get it over with and get on to what's next.
That's crazy because it like I watched maybe 40 minutes of it and it flowed so seamlessly. So I can't like I was trying to think because I knew that it had aired in 3 minutes, and I'm like. Where did they cut it? Because it just flows so seamlessly.
I think the first one they aired in like 3 minute segments, and then the second one I think they did in longer segments. I want to say they were like 5 to 10 minute segments. They were longer segments for the second one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and I got really excited because everyone knows I'm an Avatar fan. I'm wearing my Korra shirt because it's the 9th year anniversary of course premiere. But as I was watching it, I heard Ventress's voice, and she has a very like screechy, like villain voice, and I'm like, this sounds so familiar. I've heard this voice somewhere. Like, wait, it kind of sounds like Azula. Like, is it Grey Delisle? And I looked it up, and it is. And she voices, I think, every female character in that series.
Wow.
Yeah, she does them all.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so shout out.
Yeah, and I think the only other thing is it's as close as I think they're probably ever going to get in this vintage collection to showing the '78 holiday special, because I always mangle, and I already clicked out of the thing, but it's something for a Wookiee. It's just basically it's like the 9-minute part of the holiday special where animated part where Boba Fett shows up. It's the introduction to Boba Fett, and a little adventure that he goes on with Luke and Han.
The story of the faithful Wookiee.
Story of the faithful Wookiee. Okay, yeah. I kept calling it a requiem for a Wookiee, and it's not what that is.
I like that better, I think.
Yeah, that's something completely different. But I used to think I watched it. It was when I saw it was on Disney Plus. It was one of the first things I watched, because I'd only seen it within the context of the holiday special. And within the context of the holiday special, it's like watching Citizen Kane compared to the rest of it, because the rest of it's so awful. But by itself, it's not that good.
Oh no!
It's like just kind of like I think because you're just so happy to see like Han and Luke, Chewie, and the droids, and Boba Fett, in something, so that when you sit there and you're watching, you're like so enthralled, because it's not like Chewbacca's grandfather watching, Diane Carroll, a hologram of Diane Carroll for 5 minutes, or B. Arthur singing torch songs at the Mos Eisley Cantina. So you're so into it, and then like once you see it, you're kind of like,
Well, I still need to watch it, so I'm thinking about like live tweeting my thoughts.
Oh, please do.
I'm very curious what you think when you watch it, because like I said, I've only seen it in the context of within the holiday special, and the holiday special is not necessarily fantastic. So, and I just remembered it being better, but I think that's all. I know there's still the Droids cartoon from the 80s they're talking about releasing later this year. Which I don't know why that wasn't in this initial sort of dump of stuff, but
Interesting.
I'm sure we'll get it eventually. They got a bunch of stuff in the vault that they're going to throw into this. Have you checked out anything on it, Meg? Or you?
Not yet. I feel like I watched the Clone Wars micro series like fairly recently, but I don't remember why I would have. But I definitely like I have May the 4th off of work, so like I'm definitely going to spend some of that day just watching some of this stuff because I have not seen most of it. So that'll be an interesting way to spend the day.
Yep. And Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Oh, well, of course, the Bad Batch, of course.
The Bad Batch, I think I'm gonna save for like after work, I think.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh.
Or I might just sneak off. But this is the thing, like I only get like an hour for lunch, so it's like I can't really watch 70 minutes in an hour.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
So it's like I'm gonna have to wait till the end.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, on to the next is the first tales of the next wave of the High Republic books. And Meg, I'm gonna let you kind of.
Yep, Meg can take it from here.
Okay, because I have not. I'm only halfway through the first one. So I am not very well versed in the High Republic. So.
I've read the first one, but that's it.
So good.
It was really good.
Yeah. Oh, now that I'm talking, you're here. Great. Awesome.
Oh,
you want to participate?
husky baby.
You want to participate? All right. So there have been there are multiple phases of the High Republic. We are still in the first phase, and we'll still be in the first phase for a while. I don't remember exactly. I think they said at least until sometime in 2022. I don't have the exact date. I don't remember. But we've gotten like the first wave of stories. And so in June starts the second one. So basically from June until October, we have a new Star Wars story every month. It's fine. I'm fine. My wallet is fine. Everything is great. So and just like the first wave, we're getting an adult novel, a middle grade novel, and a young adult novel. But the same authors that wrote everything in the first wave, they're kind of like switching. So like Justina Ireland, I think, is doing the young adult novel. And Kevin Scott is doing the adult novel, and so it'll kind of switch off with those. And the interesting thing about these stories is it all takes place at like the Republic Fair. So like apparently there's a space fair that everyone goes to, which is I don't know how that's going to go. We'll see. But there's a new short story that's going to be in Star Wars Insider. There's also a new audio drama. There is a manga coming out, and then there's like a storybook coming out in October for like the younglings. So like one thing I really just love about the High Republic as a whole is like there's so many different kinds of stories coming out. It's not just like another novel, maybe a young adult novel. It's like everything. So even like if you don't want to read everything, there is something for like everyone. Like if you're really into young adult, like you can just read those, and they're designed so like you don't have to know everything that's going on. Like they give you enough context. So yeah, there are 2 stories in June, 1 in July, 1 at the very end of August, September, and October. That's a lot of Star Wars. But you know, it's never going to stop. And that's not even including like all the other books and stuff that we're getting outside of the High Republic. Oh my God, there's so much.
Yeah. Well, and it makes sense for them to really lean into the book publishing during like because lockdown, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's hard to do bigger productions for TV shows and movies and stuff. So, but easier to put out written stuff.
Yep, for sure.
So if you just, I was gonna say I was gonna quiz you, Meg. That's not really what this is. I just had questions.
Answer on the spot trivia.
No, but it's just sort of like, so say you don't want to read the books, you only want to read the comics. Could you focus on like maybe the young adults like exclusively and still get sort of the gist of what's going on, or do you really need to read like the novels and then like the comics and the young adults? It's just sort of extra, or are there like major plot points in those, or is it everything sort of, or if you're just sort of like, I'm just going to read the books, I'm not going to read any of this stuff, you still wouldn't miss anything, right?
Everything is specifically designed so that you don't have to read everything, because what they don't want to do is say, here's all this stuff that you have to read, and then turn people off of it because they don't want to read everything. So like they're designed like to give you enough context. So like if you're just reading a few of them, or if you're just reading the comics, like you get the general idea. Like they have like the quote unquote crawl at the beginning of the comics. Like they kind of give you as much context as you want. You also don't have to read everything in order either. Like there's a recommended order, which is release order, but like you can technically read stuff in whatever order you want to, if you want. The only thing that kind of they recommend is like if you want to get the absolute most out of like small details and like little references to things, and like understanding a random thing that happens in one book that references back to something that came before, like you could read everything in order, but they're making it so things can stand alone as much as they can. Like at some point as it keeps going along, you're probably going to want to at least find like summaries or recaps of what's happening, but like you definitely don't have to read everything, because it's like it's not just a book, you know, a story thing. It's like there are books and then there are comics, and this comes out this time and there's a story here, and it's a lot to keep up with, even if it's like the thing that you do in your life. So no, you can get by with just like choosing what you want to read.
And this whole second phase, I'm guessing, it takes place at this fair. Because like I know the first set of books was all about the big catastrophe, which I won't spoil for the people who haven't read.
Yeah.
And then so I guess the big catastrophe happens and is over, and then now the next phase is this space fair.
Yeah, so from what I understand, this next wave of stories is like it happens right after all the other things, and the fair is kind of like the Republic's way of saying like, "Hey, everything's good. There's still peace across the galaxy. Let's celebrate." That's what I'm getting from it so far. I need to like make sure that that's right, but yeah. So it kind of will do what the first wave did, was like tell kind of the same major events from different perspectives and with different characters that kind of cross over sometimes, and it kind of lets you like see the story from like a Jedi's point of view, and then like maybe a younger galaxy person's point of view. Yeah, and like Kevin Scott not only has a book but also his audio drama things. Like I don't know how he does all the things that he does. He's very busy, but
yeah, that's what so that's the one thing when I was kind of looking over the article from StarWars.com, is that like his name was there a lot.
Yeah.
So is it just that? I mean, is he the one sort of spearheading this whole thing? Like, is he like? I know he wrote the Light of the Jedi, right? That was his, right? Am I right?
No, that was Charles Soule.
Charles Soule. Okay.
Yeah, Kevin Scott is doing some of the comics. So there's 5 main authors, and they're kind of, they're doing all the things, and they're kind of trading off on what they're doing. So like everyone ideally gets the chance to like do a young adult book or a comic or things like that. Claudia Gray is apparently working on something that she can't talk about still. So we've only seen the one book from her so far, but she's still in it too. Just nothing from her in this next wave, I guess. Which, I mean, take your time, girl. Give us your next good thing, because she's never disappointed me so far. So.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to read I'm about halfway through with Light of the Jedi. I have to finish it.
It gets really good.
It is it's very much split into 2 different parts. Like it could almost be two different books, because it's it's very different.
Yeah.
What's also sort of interesting is there still are other books that are supposed to come out too. Like we're supposed to get the third sort of Padme book, and there's a ton of other books that are supposed to come out. Yeah. So we just talked about the one poem book. So it's kind of nice that they sort of haven't put all of their eggs in one basket with the High Republic,
right?
As far as publishing goes, so because there's still tons of like it's supposed to be like some big comics event. It's like the War of the Bounty Hunters, which is sort of looking interesting. I think that's more comic based. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know.
Yeah, it's a crossover between like all of the Star Wars Marvel comics that are happening right now. So it's like there'll be like a kickoff like single issue, and then like there are just a bunch of crossover events and Marvel Star Wars stuff since it came back to Marvel hasn't done anything like that yet. So it's a big thing. I'm behind on all Star Wars comics, so like I don't know if I'll be able to catch up in time to catch that one as it's coming out, but yeah.
The only one I'm up to date with is the Darth Vader one, which was the one I swore was I was the least interested in. But it ends up having like the most interesting stories. I don't know how they managed to do that, but if you're my own personal recommendation, if you're looking for one, the Darth Vader one's really good. So although I have to check my iPad because I get the subscription every month through Amazon. And, I don't think I've got one like this month, or if I haven't looked at it. So. But that's really all of the news. There was one thing going around on Twitter, and this is just sort of a jokey thing, so nobody get upset about it. But there's somebody said, was lamenting the sale of Star Wars to Disney, and that basically it boiled down to, you're not a true fan unless you know who Darth Revan is. And as somebody who doesn't play the video games, I didn't know who Darth Revan was, which was odd because I I saw all the movies in the theaters. I saw them before they were special editions. Um, I got a lot of stuff. I feel like I was a pretty good fan. Did they come to find out? Because I didn't know who George Revan was. Apparently, I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dang.
God.
As a
Better pack up, go
as
home.
a PS, yeah. So as a PSA, and to help everyone else who's in a very similar situation, I'm thinking, I am going to take you to the Wikipedia page and tell you who Revan is,
So we
so
can all
that
be
after you
fans.
hear this, you can know, and you don't have to worry about not being a fan anymore.
Problem solved.
Problem solved, I think. So this is the canon version of Revan, for those of you that don't know. Which apparently Steele Saunders is one of these people, which I thought was great. He tweeted about it. But Revan, from the part of the Wikipedia fan page, Revan was a Sith Lord and the namesake of the Sith Eternals Army 3rd Legion. Since the history of the Sith has been kept hidden from the galaxy, only Sith cultists know the significance of Revan's name. Sith Trooper legions were numerically identified, yet also named after the ancient Sith Lord. The Revan Legion was activated in 35 ABY, which I'm assuming is Rise of Skywalker. Yes, along with the rest of the Sith Eternal forces during the war between the First Order and the Resistance. So I guess they brought Revan back into canon with the Rise of Skywalker by naming one of the divisions of the Sith after this guy. But Revan was originally introduced in the Star Wars Legends continuity in the BioWar and LucasArts 2003 video game Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic as a playable character. Revan's physical characteristics and gender were customizable by the player. That's interesting. For gameplay purposes, Revan's male gender was then confirmed in the new Essential Chronology. In Legends, Revan was a Jedi Knight who broke away from the Jedi Order and formed the Sith Empire that waged war against the Order and the Galactic Republic. He later renounced the Sith identity and retrained as a Jedi, defeating the Sith Empire that he had created, eventually confronting the true Sith, helping to destroy its leader. So, that is...
So there you go.
Yeah.
Word on Knights of the Old Republic, because Runs with Caesars mentioned it earlier. I have it on my desktop, and I have tried to play it, and I could not get past the intro. You're like learning the controls. I'm not a gamer, guys. I can't do it.
That's my thing too. I mean, I've read EU books. All the Timothy Zahn books. I read those that came out. But I don't play the games. I spent the first part of the show talking about how I got an Xbox. I'm sitting here right here in front of me. I have Battlefront 2, Squadrons, and Jedi Fallen Order right here. Like I could reach out and grab the games. I'm terrible at them, so I don't play them.
Yeah, doesning mean we're not fans. Like you don't have to be a fan of a video game to be a fan of a movie.
Here's the thing. If I was good at video games, I probably would have played Knights of the Old Republic by now. I probably would have been playing it for the last 10, 15, 20 years, however long it's been out. And I would have known all of this stuff. But I don't play the video games because I'm terrible at them. I'm just terrible at them. I want to be good. They all look like so much fun. Like I watch people play Squadrons. Like I tried to watch a couple of YouTube videos. It looks like so much fun to play these games. And then I get in there and I'm just flying around, firing at stuff, and then like people come out of nowhere and they blow me up and I have no way to fight back. And after a while, I just turn it off and watch a movie because I can't get the games to work because I am terrible at video games. So.
Same. And like Knights of the Old Republic, I would love to play because that time in canon, like it looks so interesting, and you do see it reference, like even though it's not canon as far as I'm aware anymore, like you do see like pieces of it still referenced. Like apparently Darth Revan has a cut scene that was in the Mortis arc.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, there's a deleted scene.
I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Because I don't know anything about it.
But it's in the Mortis arc, so can you really trust it?
I don't know if that's going to be our words between worlds this week, but it has to be. I have to hear your hot take, extended hot take of the Mortis arc because
I don't like it. I know everyone loves it, and it's fine. It's fine if you love it. I don't like it.
It hurts me.
I don't like it at all.
All right.
Sorry to end on a bad note.
We might have to have a formal debate about the Mortis arc between Meg and Emily about.
I did see that deleted scene on Twitter though. One of the Star Wars accounts tweeted.
I didn't even know they had deleted scenes of the animated.
It's like not fully.
Maybe
it's
I'm not a
fully
Star Wars
animated.
fan. I didn't know they had this stuff.
It's like partially animated.
Oh, well, I've seen that stuff. Like there was because when they shut down Clone Wars originally, they had a bunch of stuff done, and so there was. I remember seeing a whole arc with Anakin and Obi-Wan on some crystal planet, and then there was and it was like real rough animation. It was just like this would be Anakin, and he would just walk like this. He would just sort of float across over the ground. I mean, they just weren't finished.
Yeah.
So, and then there was the one I wanted to see. I only saw a clip of it. Was Cad Bane and Boba Fett going at it in a duel. So like that was really cool. But yeah, the rest of it I don't know anything about. Although the rumor was that the Game of Thrones guys when they were going to make their movies, they were going to do the Knights of the Old Republic era, but they never. I don't know what happened to those plans after they walked away, or if they're still going to do it, or what's going to happen. It was one of the myths. I was also thinking around the time where they said everybody was getting a Disney Plus show, and you're like, whatever. And then like they ended up all being right. They all got Disney Plus shows. It's like I remember the rumor. I was like, so this is going to be a Lando TV show. This is back when like I didn't even believe the Ahsoka one. I was like, there's not going to be a Lando TV show. Trust me. And the whole this Lando TV show coming 2023 or something. But that's sort of it for the news tonight, unless big news dropped in the last hour. Yeah. But unless you guys got anything else, we'll go ahead and sign off for tonight. We will be back. We're going to record a show on Friday, our Words Between Worlds, and then we'll be back on Saturday for another Star Wars happy hour. And then there's, I think Wednesday. Is it Wednesdays that Your Star Wars Journeys drops? I don't remember.
I think he said Wednesday. I don't know if he meant this week or every week.
Yeah, there's a lot of content going on because I know Rachel's about to interview somebody. Hannah interviewed a couple of people. So like, and then we still got merchandise. We're on Instagram. We're on TeePublic. You can get all sorts of cool shirts and stuff. So there's a lot going on. But
I have not interviewed anyone because I'm a deadbeat co-host.
Well, how about this? I will interview you. You can interview me, and then that will count as having interviewed somebody. Because I haven't interviewed anybody.
Sounds good.
There you go.
But for Jason and Emily and Meg, thank you for watching tonight, and may the force be with you always. I have to text the person who's in charge of ending this and tell them that we're ending it. So we might just be here a while. Talk amongst yourselves. I will give you a topic. The Roman Reformation was neither Roman nor a Reformation. Discuss.